Hello everyone, today we are here together at Kyber Network's 7th community call. I'm your host Ece. I hope it will be both educational and fun. My teammates Shane, Lian, Tanya are also here. If you have any questions, we are waiting for you to write the general English chat section. And if there is a problem with the voice, please write in general English too. The recording of the call will be uploaded to YouTube later. We will also publish the call summary. Thanks for being here right now. Generally, the number of people listening on YouTube is higher. I will post the link of our YouTube and other social media channels to the general chat. Don't forget to subscribe Kyber on social media channels. I'm a YouTuber as well as being part of the Kyber team, so it's a habit to say subscribe. Okay, I'm checking our global Telegram channel. It has surpassed 12,000 members. We passed 189,000 on Twitter. Thanks a lot for your interest. Apart from this, we also have channels such as Chinese, Japanese, Turkish. You can check it on Twitter and Telegram and so on. We have a very active community. Thank you a lot. What we will talk about today is rainmaker yield farms, latest DeFi collaborations, what's coming for traders on KyberDMM. In addition, I heard from your feedbacks that you wanted the community calls to be a little more basic and suitable for beginners, so don't worry, I'll keep it at a level that everyone can understand. First of all, we are in a day where the cryptocurrency markets are on the rise and investors are excited. It's a nice day. Please note that KNC is migrated. If you are holding on an exchange which has supported KNC migration already, your KNC has already been automatically changed to a new one. Almost all major exchanges have done the migration, but please check it yourself. If you are not sure about migration status of your KNC balance, you can also check it from the contract address. We have a migration portal for you. From there, immediately make your transactions at a ratio of 1:1. Please note that you must also send the new KNC to the new KNC address when you make a transaction. It is still being asked a lot, so I like to mention about it. In addition, the network you are sending KNC is also important. For example, in Binance, you can now select the BSC network directly for sending KNC. In this way, for example, if you are using MetaMask as a wallet, you can send KNC from Binance directly to MetaMask on the BSC Binance Smart Chain network after setting the network preference to BSC in MetaMask. Then you can use KNC on Binance Smart Chain on KyberDMM to start liquidity mining and to stake with your LP tokens. This is really awesome. For other networks, for example, Polygon and Avalanche, there are bridge systems if you want to migrate your assets. Please take a look at them. Speaking of KyberDMM, you can currently use Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Avalanche network to exchange tokens and liquidity mining, staking. Being multi-chain is one of the greatest features of KyberDMM, I think. Many projects working on these networks are also adding their pools to KyberDMM. We will talk about them now. As a note, to do liquidity mining and stake your LP tokens, enter dmm.exchange. You can also exchange tokens directly here. Also for liquidity mining to generate additional income, first select to network, then select the appropriate pool as you want. Easily deposit tokens from the pool you choose through the wallet you linked and get LP tokens. Very easy. And we have video on YouTube, on our YouTube channel if you want to check. You can start staking on the farm page with these LP tokens. Don't miss the opportunity to earn high profits by taking advantage of Rainmaker liquidity mining incentive program and other rewards. Okay. Now let's talk about new projects on pools on KyberDMM. It's a very long list. In order not to bore you, I will talk really briefly. Meme by Abracadabra adds liquidity to MemeUSDT pool on KyberDMM. It is on Avalanche. With $60 million in amplified liquidity, Jarvis Network adds GFiat liquidity on KyberDMM on Polygon and $440,000 in incentives in AUR. Creator platform adds liquidity to the CTRBNB pool on Binance Smart Chain. 120,000 in KNC and CTR rewards will be distributed to LPs over the next 2 months. Ape-in adds liquidity to the AVAX Ape-in pool on Avalanche, with $300,000 in mining rewards will be distributed over the next 2 months again. DeFi Warrior adds liquidity to FIVA USDT pool on Binance Smart Chain, with $300,000 rewards in FIVA and KNC for LPs over the next 2 months again. $X liquidity mining on KyberDMM on Polygon with $75,000 in rewards. Step Hero adds liquidity to the Hero BNB pool on KyberDMM on Binance Smart Chain with $150,000 in rewards. The most importantly, actually, we have added pools with Cooperation, Avalanche Foundation, and Binance Smart Chain team. Don't miss Rainmaker liquidity mining campaigns. Now, all I can say is happy farming. By the way, Rainmaker liquidity mining on Binance Smart Chain started on September 2nd. Rainmaker liquidity mining on Avalanche started on September 17th. As you know, the Kyber ecosystem is governed by the decisions made by the KNC owners. Decentralization is at the heart of the Kyber system. In KyberDAO, KNC holders vote on important decisions. Please also check at KyberDAO at kyber.org. In the past month, KIP 13 to 17 was approved with great majority on KyberDAO. We share the details of this cooperation offers with our community on our GitHub page. Then we share them with you on our government forum, gov.kyber.org. Please read the offer details there too and write us your feedback. Our community is really the most important element in the decisions on Kyber network. Let's continue with the other developments from the past month. Kyber, the liquidity center of DeFi space, has collaborated with many projects, very exciting ones. KyberDMM DEX integrated by Rome Terminal. Rome Terminal is a multi-blockchain network trading interface. You can check. All of them is great. KyberDMM also integrated by ParseWeb. ParseWeb is middleware aggregating many decentralized exchanges, DEX, and other services in one comprehensive interface, also great. Kyber TVL on AVAX and Binance Smart Chain started to be tracked on DeFi Llama, one of my favorites actually. DeFi Llama lists DeFi projects from all chains. Katana Terminal integrates KyberDMM protocol. Katana, by the way, is a professional trading terminal, as you can understand from the name. Knit Finance collaborates with Kyber to boost liquidity on different chains. And Slingshot integrates KyberDMM protocol. Slingshot is again DEX aggregator. Flurry Finance and Kyber collaborate for yield optimization. Great news. While KyberDMM expands its users with many collaborations, we are also working on technical developments too. We will take our goal of becoming liquidity center of DeFi one step further. Actually, that's enough hints for now. Subscribe to our social media channels to get announcements first. We will have a lot of announcements for you. Really great. We are really exciting. We are collecting feedbacks, by the way, to improve KyberDMM further to the next version. Please write to us. By the way, there is a fresh update. Very fresh. Dynamic trade routing live on KyberDMM DEX. KyberDMM swap function is now greatly enhanced with dynamic trade routing. This powerful feature enables users to source liquidity from different decentralized exchanges to achieve the best price for any token swap on any supported network in an entirely trustless manner. 21 DEXs, 20,000 pools, 12,000 tokens on 4 networks. Of course, Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Avalanche. Is there any question? I will check. Okay, thank you. We will answer the questions later on the call. Okay, let's go back. Of course, we have been at many online events, as usual. We have found ourselves in social media and news websites. Let's talk about this too. There was a great article on CoinDesk. I really love it. And the title was Kyber Network's Dynamic Market Maker Debates on Binance Smart Chain. I will post it on general chat actually. It mentions Binance Exchange has listed the BIP20 version of the KNC token to facilitate deposits and withdrawals from the BSC network. As I mentioned before, you can withdraw your KNC in Binance Smart Chain from Binance. Also, DeFi Pulse published an article which is called KyberDMM Rise on Binance Smart Chain. It's another one. You could see our team also at CM Commercial Bank DeFi Launchpad, Decentral Hacks 2021, Polygon 2021, EdCon Virtual Summit 2021, one of the biggest conferences in Ethereum network, and so on, just for a month. Finally, let's look at KyberDMM Stats. We also post it in our social media channels regularly. I will post the link on general chat. Again, you can check by yourself, but I'd like to mention it right now. It's really exciting. Now, total trading volume on KyberDMM is $1.99 billion. Wow. So we can say see you at 2 billion and more in the next community call. Total value locked is $188.78 million, and total EMP liquidity, which is equivalent to TVL when compared to typical AMMs, is $27.18 billion. Really great. By the way, I would like to talk about our friends Krystal team, which you can go with Krystal.app in website, and you can use their app. With Krystal, you can store digital assets on multiple blockchains, exchange tokens at the best rates, benefit from low gas fees, and save land supplied tokens to earn interest. Now Krystal expands to Avalanche. You can now swap tokens on Avalanche. Okay, actually that was all. Shane, is there anything you want to add?
Hi, AJ.
Hi.
Thanks for giving us a recap of all the exciting stuff that has happened in the Kyber ecosystem over the past couple of months. I think we have had some questions on the general chat. If you have no other content to cover, we can actually try to answer these questions. How do you vet tokens you add to Rainmaker, and do you check with the team, tokenomics, or just add anyone who applies? So if you have been following our forum posts and discussions and different categories on our Kyber network governance forum, so the URL there is gov.kyber.org. Let me just type it here in case you have not seen this. Just typed it on the general chat. So if you go to this URL, you can see that there for all our past rainmaker liquidity mining campaigns, they've all been kind of vetted by the community through this forum. So projects that either reached out to us or that we reached out to, we will discuss with them on a general, through like a general call and an introductory call, and we'll guide them through the framework that we give every single project to take a look in order to submit proposals. So based on that joint liquidity mining framework and the criteria that has been listed there, they actually submit proposals to our forum. The community will take a look and give their feedback and comments. There have been some proposals that were rejected and that were updated by the team and later approved. So this forum is a platform for us to actually vet projects together as one community and not just within the Kyber team alone. And we find that this is a very engaging process, and every community member can actually voice their opinions and suggest new projects that we should work with even. So the latest liquidity mining that was launched was with Jarvis Network. So just as a very quick example, the initial proposal that they submitted on the forum, some parts of it were not fully accepted by the Kyber community, and some community members actually gave more suggestions, and following which the Jarvis team actually made the changes and came back with a slightly different proposal that was passed. So through this process, we can actually kind of fine tune and get projects that are more suitable for Kyber's joint liquidity mining programs to help Kyber grow. And of course, for us, we also want to help these teams as much as possible and ensure that it's a win-win situation for everyone involved. So I hope that answers your question. You can paste the link to the general framework on GitHub here on the general chat later. And this is kind of like a living document, right? Every time we get feedback from the community and from partners and from teams, we may change some parts of the framework. It's just meant to be a guide for projects and community members. Fibu is asking if the dynamic trade routing is live now. Yes, it's already live. If you go to this URL, dmm.exchange, just pasted it here on the chat, you can see that on the swap page, which is the default page that you land on the right, on the left, you can see the tokens that you want to swap, and on the right, you can see the trading route actually. So when you key in a certain amount for a certain pair, you can see the breakdown of the different DEXs that the trades are being split and going through in order to help you achieve the best prices for the token that you want to receive. Are there going to be more DEXs added to your? Yes. So this is just a start. I mean, we know that this aggregation formula that we developed and launched today is not perfect yet. We are always constantly trying to optimize it, and we plan to add more DEXs to this aggregation feature very soon. So we have started with 21, and even with just 21 DEXs, already there's like $23 billion worth of total value locked in terms of the tokens from all these different DEXs, including KyberDMM pools. So KyberDMM pools are highly capital efficient, and it makes sense for liquidity providers to add liquidity on KyberDMM over most other protocols, especially typical AMM protocols, because KyberDMM pools offer the kind of capital efficiency that is not easily found elsewhere, and especially for more stable pairs, you can really see the benefits of this capital efficiency. With a fraction of the TVL compared to other protocols, we can achieve very, very good rates. So with just 21 DEXs, we are already pooling liquidity from about $23 billion worth of tokens elsewhere, including KyberDMM. And over time, as we add more DEXs and as we add more pools, so even within the DEX, we have not we are not sourcing from every single pool yet. We're trying to slowly optimize the formula, because the more complex the formula is, the more gas inefficient. So we need to kind of balance the gas needed to actually do the aggregation and the final price that you get. And if you notice on the swap page on the left, you have actually an option either to get the maximum return based on the pricing or the lowest gas. So especially if you are trading a very, very small amount, you might want to consider using lowest gas option instead of the maximum return. So play around with the feature. Let us know your feedback. This is not a finished product, but we feel that this is very, very useful already, and it's a marked improvement over the previous swap functionality, which only pulls liquidity from the pools on KyberDMM. So right now, we are pulling liquidity from multiple DEXs on the same network. And you can just select a different network, you can source liquidity from multiple DEXs on that network as well. So we are on Ethereum, Avalanche, BSC, and Polygon, as Ichi mentioned. And for those of you who are very active in the DeFi space, you must have heard of a lot of other networks which are implementing EVM compatibility on some of the chains. And so we are actively looking and talking to all of them to see where's next, right, for Kyber to deploy. Any update for when KNC token will be available, provide liquidity on Avalanche. So we are talking to, if you have heard of Ren. So Loy, I think he was an advisor to the Ren project back then when they just did the ICO. We have very close ties with the team, and we're working close with them to see how we can bridge KNC using Ren. And also talking at the same time talking to the Avalanche team to see how KNC can be added to their bridge at the same time. So we are looking at multiple options. If we don't have a fixed timeline yet on this, but we understand that this is very important because the second phase of our Avalanche Rush liquidity mining program is kind of like a combination of Rainmaker and Avalanche Rush. The second phase of our incentives should be coming very soon, and we would like to ensure that the KNC rewards are available as soon as possible. So we understand the urgency of having KNC on these bridges, and that's why we're talking to multiple parties and we're trying to push this as much as possible. Right now, there are ongoing incentives for 8in DYP on the Avalanche, and there will be more coming as well. So we added an upcoming farms tab on our farms page. If you're interested in what upcoming farms are coming on Ethereum, BSC, Avalanche, or Polygon, you can take a look there, and we'll update that page periodically. Is there a list of 21 DEXs? Good question. So actually, we showed the logos of the 21 DEXs on our blog post, but we did not list them down in text. If we can do that, we can just make it a little bit more detailed on the blog post. I can list it down after this call. And it's actually available on GitHub as well if you are looking into the code itself. But on the blog post, yeah, we didn't list it. We only showed the logos of the DEXs. So we can put it down in text after this. Does this mean that the DMM has the best rates? If you are going to compare between DEX aggregators, we have better rates sometimes, and sometimes we don't. So this is we have not launched this with absolute, right, 100% certainty, right, that we are getting best rates all the time. And in fact, it's very difficult for any aggregator or DEX to be able to have this claim, because if you trade different amounts and you try to compare at different timings for different token pairs, you can see that sometimes some are having better rates than the others. So for the KyberDMM's dynamic trade routing feature, we are not offering the best rates every single trade, but it is definitely much better than our previous swap functionality, which is just pulling liquidity from the pools on the DMM. And we are talking to developers from the DeFi space. We are talking to our advisors and other partners to see how we can further improve this feature, because this was actually a very highly requested feature from our partners and the community members in DeFi. And we think that we are able to offer a very unique alternative to other aggregation functionalities. However, having said that, we think that there is definitely room for multiple aggregation platforms out there. Some people might be more familiar with certain types of UI. Some people might prefer the process on the DMM over others or vice versa. So it really depends on individual needs and suitability. But on our end, what we are trying to aim for is to provide the most seamless experience for traders and liquidity providers, and both traders and liquidity providers. So we are already offering very high capital efficiency pools and for LPs, and we are doing all these yield farms and working with projects on joint liquidity mining programs and collaborating with them to optimize their pools so that there are better rates in terms of capital efficiency. We can achieve better rates for their users. And on the flip side, for the traders who are actually coming to the DMM, now they have an option to actually trade through multiple DEXs on the network to get the best rates. And at the same time, getting volume, sourcing liquidity from the capital efficient DMM pools. And something that we did not mention in the call earlier, but is in a blog post, is that we have an API where if developers and devs want to be able to use this dynamic trade routing functionality for their devs to get the best rates, they are able to just use our API and integrate with us within the dev. Answer your question again, down with fathers is not 100% certainty, but we are getting there. We are always trying to improve it. And as we add more DEXs, add more pools, add more tokens, we believe we can get at least a very holistic product out there for KyberDMM users. For the last question by DeFi Boo, does this conclude Kyber 3.0? Is Kaizen phase completed? So, as we mentioned earlier in the start of the year, Kyber 3.0 wasn't like a specific date, right? With a launch, and there wasn't a specific launch or end date. It was a process for this year. The first phase was the was the migration of the KyberDAO and the KNC token, and so that was in the Katana phase, and that has already been completed. So now this brings to mind another topic that has been raised by the community a lot, which is when KNC will be on Coinbase. So I really don't have a fixed date for you, because for that we are working with the Coinbase team on it, but they have a process which is they have their own internal process which we are not directly involved in. We are only talking to one team, but they might need to talk to many different departments and teams, and so this is it might take some time, and we are regularly every week reminding them and talking to them about it. But apart from Coinbase, we are actually already available on all the major exchanges like Binance, Gemini, the Korean exchanges, FTX. So only Coinbase being the major exchange that has not supported the new KNC token. So for phase 1, Katana, KNC, and the KyberDAO have been migrated, and we are trying to get KNC on Coinbase as much as possible. For the Kaizen phase 2, we are tweaking kind of like the KyberDMM's beta launch and making it just improving the product as a whole. So that's the reason why we have this new feature, dynamic trade routing, to improve the product for traders on the DMM. And this doesn't conclude it. I would say the Kaizen phase would be concluded when we have our blog post announcing our plans for next year. So there are still some small optimizations for KyberDMM, as well as small issues that we really need to resolve. For example, getting KNC on Coinbase and other DAO optimization topics that we would like to discuss with the community at a later part of the year. But essentially, we would like to kind of streamline the voting process so that it's more gas efficient, explore options such as snapshot and have a proposal to the DAO to make all these changes happen. And with that, and with our plans that we are going to announce for next year, perhaps around November, end of November, we will have these plans ready. Once all those have been published, we can safely kind of conclude the Kaizen phase of Kyber 3.0. But we are already nearing the end of it, and pretty much the major launches and initiatives for Kyber 3.0 have already been fulfilled and completed. So it's just a tiny bit left of Kyber 3.0 that's remaining. Downloading a polygon is an interesting suggestion. So we will open up this topic very soon about how to kind of streamline our KyberDAO voting, staking, and claiming of rewards, and how to kind of incorporate KNC liquidity providers as part of the voting community. So many ideas around that, and how to maybe reward voters with NFTs, reward KGT holders with NFTs. So we have all these ideas that we would open up to the community via a structured kind of forum thread later. And voting on Polygon could be an alternative for us, but right now, no concrete plans around that per se. Okay, I think we are done with the questions. H.A., anything else to add?
Thank you for all the great answers, and I want to thank you all for the great questions and participating. By the way, KyberDMM.exchange, if you want to check, looks really cool after dynamic trade routing update. Please check.
Thank you, H.A. To the Kyber community, please try out the KyberDMM's new dynamic trade routing feature, and if you go to the farms page, if any of the yield farms appeal to you, go check it out as well. Thank you.
Thank you. See you at the next community call.